Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to another live edition of Legends from the Past and Future Show. I am Armand, and this is Ayana Moo Young. How you doing tonight, Ayana?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another show. Welcome back.
Awesome. You know, it's almost Christmas, Ayana. You ready for Christmas? Ayana, are you ready for Christmas?
Yes. I'm sorry?
Yeah, we do have a delay. Are you ready for Christmas?
I'm sorry, I'm on. What did you say?
Are you finished your shopping for Christmas?
Oh, as ready as I'm going to be. You know, I learned a long time ago not to stress myself out about a made-up holiday. So,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to spending time with family. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. I know your granddaughter is ready. Is she ready?
And when I say made up holiday, let me clarify that, because I don't want people to think, no, it's not. So I'm not talking about the true meaning of the holiday. I'm talking about the commercialism of the holiday. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I agree with you. You know, man, we just moving right along. You know, the show is steadily growing. You know, we have an event coming up on the 22nd of March, and
yes.
We'll be putting out the new address. The show will not be at the Stanton Community Center. It will now be on the 22nd, still, but at the Life Center, Community Center of Mount Olive. Again, it will be at the Life Center of Mount Olive, and I will get that change put out. So tonight, Ayana, we're going to be talking about some health. You know, a lot of eating takes place over the holiday. I'm sure you're ready to do a lot of eating, right? Yes.
You know what? I don't like to feel miserably stuck. I'm out of that. You know, I'm growing out of that a long time ago. But I am looking forward to, I'm a foodie, so I'm looking forward to eating some good cuisine for sure. Absolutely.
So, you know, the important thing, though, we can't forget, it's important to work out, right? Maintain that fitness, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. As my sister would say, my sister does non-invasive body stuff, and as she would say, your summer body is born in the winter, so you need to be working on that now. And not waiting until the summer starts to say you want a summer body.
I like that. Well, you know, I guess he's in the studio, so let's go ahead and bring him on, okay?
I like year-round bodies, and I think that's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's bring him on. Coming to the stage is none other than Kent Natapraya. Kent,
what's up? Good. How you doing? Good. Thanks for having me on the show. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, sir. It's a pleasure and honor to have you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you bringing me on, and great to meet you guys. And looking forward to being a part of the show and providing some guidance and helping out. Talking about men's health and everything else that people are looking to be interested in.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we're gonna travel back in history. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So, where were you born and raised?
I was born in 1981. I was from Queens, New York. And um, New York City, of course. That's what it is. It's Woodside area, and I got youngest of three. So I obviously got an older brother, sister, and my mom, who pretty much raised me as a single parent. Actually, all three of us, and in a little one single bedroom apartment, and we ended up moving out of that area and going to. She saved up a lot of money. She worked really hard to put us all of us through college, and we all came out pretty well.
Awesome, awesome. What are some of the things that you enjoyed doing while growing up?
So it's the city, right? You kind of in the projects. So
Yeah.
it was back in the days. There was parks, obviously, right? So we actually went to the park. We do all sports days, play baseball, basketball, little flag, touch football. Those are things we like to do when we were younger. Hit the ice cream trucks when they come by. Play manhunt. I don't know if you remember that. You would all hide big areas. Try to find guys. So those are the things we did as a kid.
Awesome, awesome. So, you graduated from high school and you went on to what college?
Oh, sure. I graduated Brooklyn Tech as my high school there, and then I went to Stony Brook University, majored in biochemistry there. So I got my bachelor's of that.
Oh, biochemistry. Okay, okay. All right. And after college, you went on to.
Military, actually. Obviously college, I wasn't a young kid, so you don't really know what you wanted. And I didn't know what I wanted either. So I actually enlisted in the military, and kind of just did it on the fly, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I wanted to venture out. Growing up as a young kid, and I was youngest of three, I felt I was a little more sheltered, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the adversity like my brothers and sisters had. And by the time I came along, my mom was a little more established and able to provide me a lot more than brothers and sisters did. And I don't think I took advantage of that as well. Right. So I was like, let me go ahead and go do my own things and, see if I can handle things on the fly, which eventually did. Now without some, hiccups, of course, along the way.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass you along
Mhm.
to Ayana. Now there may be some sort of a delay,
Right?
But it's in your hands, Ayana.
All right, awesome. And so, you talked about high school. You talked about going to Stony Brook and majoring in biochemistry. What did you do with the degree? Did you actually work in the field?
Good question. I did it more so in the academic setting. I had every summer for scholarship reasons, I had to do research projects. When I did graduate, I really didn't. It was actually hard to find a job, to be honest with you, back then. It was just a bachelor's. You really had to go get your master's and PhD. So when I joined the military, that did provide me an avenue to utilize those skills. So I worked at Walter Reed Army Institute of Research, where I worked in pathology, immunohistochemistry, and that was helpful in that area. So, but to be honest with you, I didn't like the field. The research aspect wasn't that fun. I realized I didn't like it when I remember I was working in my molecular biology lab in college, and I turned around and when the people that I work with looked like the fruit flies, I was testing on. I was like, I can't connect with these people. So I was like, you know what? Let me go with something else. So I said like,
oh goodness, not fruit flies.
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't my thing. Yeah, and I was joined a fraternity.
And so if you had could start over, so if you could have selected a different major, what would it have been?
Oh man, to be honest with you, I don't know. I think that in undergraduate, I think it's a great way to kind of get your feet wet. If I look at the innovation now, I probably would have done engineering, to be honest with you, right? Engineering would probably be the new wave of things right now, from Elon Musk, all these guys that are doing all this engineering there, or bioengineering for that matter. Now that I'm in medicine, the bioengineers are the innovators of medicine. They're the ones that create things that we utilize as tools to help provide better services to patients.
right, awesome. Two great fields. Wonderful fields. Armand, back to you.
Okay, so Kent, all right. What got you into becoming a personal trainer?
Good question. Well, I was always been in physical fitness, since high school. I boxed. I did some intramural sports in high school and in college, mostly college, of course. Really, when I met my wife to connect with my stepson, who at the time frame, big sports kid. In high school, he did 3 sports and stuff. And I try to figure out, as a stepdad, how do I connect with it? African American kid, I'm stepdad. What do I know about anything about being a dad? So physical fitness was the best way. So I remember I got back from Afghanistan deployment, and I created a gym in the basement. Actually, even before then, I was in my deployment to Afghanistan. I worked with a lot of service members there too in fitness training because I was always into it. But that's when I started getting into more of the fitness training and learning about other types of fitness like CrossFit, functional fitness. But it was really in connection with my son to realize, how do I connect with them? And fitness was the best way. That was kind of when I really started that journey into training myself. I remember working out with his friends. All the still football kids would come by. We used to do circuits, go in the field. We had 5 acres of land, doing farmers walks and all that stuff. So it was a good way to connect with them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now you have a business when it comes to men's health or as a trainer?
Yeah. So, we didn't have anything right away, obviously. Obviously we kind of formed it up. I got back from my deployment to Poland. So it's always deployment related, right? It gives me these ideas. So I was deployed in 2021. And while there, I was actually a fitness trainer for numerous service members, actually. At that time frame, I was able to formulate a lot of workouts for big groups of people, and we had the equipment, of course. So I did that way. And I realized when I got back, and I knew my wife was obviously big into fitness. She's been doing it for a while. And so was I, but I had never really done anything from a big marketing standpoint. I decided, with the money I saved, I created my gym in the garage, created a studio, had the lights and everything. And we decided to just kind of go down that route of fitness. And that's where kind of what we led to where we're at this point.
So, before I pass it back to Ayana, I've seen your wife work out.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I really haven't seen your workout. I saw the results.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My workouts are catered to actually the working dad, the working adult, because we don't have a lot of time as providers, as men, in the field. We are very busy, and it's hard to get an efficient workout. And then most people you see in the gym, they're there for an hour and a half, and they're very inefficient. So what I did was I created workouts for individuals based on their capabilities and mobility and stuff to them short 15, no more than 20-minute workouts that they can do their full body at any minute. There's no thinking, because you just just pick one, you do it, and that's it. And you have time to do it because you don't have a lot of you don't have the time to go to the gym sometimes, or you wake up in the morning, you only got 20 minutes, knock it out real quick, and it's very functional. And you can do multiple in a day. You can do one in the morning, one in the evening, even.
Okay. So do you recommend working out twice a day, once a day, and if so, what's the time limit?
Good question. So I think for me, 30 minutes is more than enough. And I'll tell you why, because you want to be efficient. The way I do it is you're looking to maximize your time, burn enough calories. The best way to do it is take 220 minus your age. That's your maximal heart rate. All right. You take, say 80%, times that by 80%. That's where you want to pick a heart rate to be, or take 60%, between 60 and 80%. So take 220 minus your age, whatever number you get, you times that by 0.8 or 0.6. You do a workout that keeps your heart rate at that level, and you burn up more than enough calories in about 20 minutes. And you do that twice a day if you want to. It's what I feel like is that, say you just study for a test, right? You can't cram, right? Very rarely you cram, you're very successful. But if you break it down into little bits and pieces of studying each day, you can get a lot better. And even when you do study in one session, you can't study for 2 hours straight and read something. You got to do something called Pordomos, where you learn something for about 20 minutes and then take a break for 5, because you retain what you do at the beginning and the end of those. So by breaking those workouts down, you're more likely to retain and provide, a better efficient workout than if you did it for a very long time. So staying elliptical for an hour and a half is very inefficient, to be honest with you. At some point, you're not going to really be burning, because now you're going to be in a cardiovascular phase. You're doing cardiovascular greatness, but you're not doing anything for fat burning.
Wait a minute. Yana, I'm coming to you in a second. So are you telling me my 60 minutes that I spend on the elliptical is a waste of time? Is that what you're saying?
If you can spend 60 minutes on elliptical, you're not working out hard enough. That's what I say, because if it's comfortable for you, that's great, but it's great for cardiovascular. So you got two types of things. You got aerobic and anaerobic, right?
Okay.
Aerobic is a light jog, but you can have a conversation. I can run, have a conversation. That's great for overall cardiovascular fitness. Absolutely. But you're trying to get fit as well as aesthetically fit, right? You actually have to build some resistance muscle, and you have to do activities that, burn calories and build muscle at the same time. And that would be zones where you actually have a higher heart rate and have some resistance training. And that would be kind of that number I talked about, so.
Awesome. Okay, Yana, back to you.
So I've seen some of your work, and I'm talking about your physique. I've seen the results of what you're doing, right? And so the question I have is, like when I saw it, one of the first things I thought was, okay, that must take a lot of discipline. So is discipline something that is it your natural disposition? Is it something that you gained from the military, or where do you think you got the discipline to actually build such a physique?
Good question. I think that the military helped. I think discipline from the military helped. I think if it isn't the discipline, it's a sense of duty, right? So you owe it to yourself to dedicate time to yourself, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, And I think that's what led me to realize that, I don't need motivation. I don't need to have a physical emotion just to work out. I know it's a necessity, right? So it's not a convenient necessity. It's it's a necessity that you need to dedicate yourself. That's what it was. So really that, like in the military, for instance, there are a lot of times you don't want to do things. You're told you got to show up to formation, but it's a sense of duty, right? Because the mission is important. So your mission in life for yourself is to stay healthy, right? So for me, it wasn't even I don't need to be dedicated to something like that. I know that I need it, and it's something I have to do every day, or at least as much as I can to provide that need for myself. So that's how I see it as. And that's how it became very easy for me once I changed it that way. Before I used to feel like I didn't be motivated to get up and do something, but I took that, convenient accountability and that word motivation out of my vocabulary, because I'm like, you know what? Motivation is a horrible thing to have. If I need an emotion to do something, then most of the time I'm not going to get up and do it, So I think the military helped me out, but it was more of having a sense of duty and self-service and all those, other types of values that they provided to me that allowed me to continue my journey in fitness.
Awesome. And so I heard you talk about, if you actually wanted to lose weight. What about people who want to bulk up? What suggestions do you have for them?
So bulking up, it's a good question. Bulking up is in the end of it is all bad, because you want to actually keep a lower body habits as you get older. You don't want to have organomegaly, large heart, because I know that from medicine. I see congestive heart failure. I see a lot of visual issues going on. But if you're a young guy, all right, and you want to gain that muscle, it takes time for yourself, but you have to have enough volume training of it. Meaning that you have to. That's where you have to probably increase the number of reps and obviously weight, of course, but it's really hitting those muscle groups as much as possible, to be honest with you. That's how I see it as. But you also got to eat too. That's the only other thing too. That's when you do got to put in the extra calories. Because I think it takes about 3,500 calories to build 1 pound of muscle. All right. So you got to eat a lot of calories, because otherwise you're always going to be caloric deficit. You're burning things, So it's got to come from somewhere. So you got to eat, and you got to probably increase your volume training with that. I'm not a big guy and trying to make too big, because I think I know from a health standpoint how unhealthy it could be getting too large, but try to get bigger in certain areas. It's just hitting the volume, but it's just there's no fancy quick way to it. It's just gonna take time.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Back to you, Armand.
All right, so Ken, all right. I'm a guy, I love my Philly steak subs and cheeseburgers and fries and Whoppers and I want a six pack. All right, so I come to you. All right, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all these health problems. What would you recommend for me, a person that you're not gonna push me away from my cookies, my cakes, my ice cream? What would you recommend?
So a good point, because a lot of my clients that I was working with before, cultural lifestyles play a part in their diet, right? Sometimes they eat things, or they can't eat certain things, so they only eat, they can't eat, certain foods here. They have to eat this, or culturally, they're just not going to change, So I would probably say one, fitness training, I think, is the best medicine. To be honest with you, I think it reverses so many things. In when it comes to comorbidities, obesity is the biggest problem, right? I think, and that leads into a lot of other things, cardiovascular, like hypertension, insulin resistance, which results in diabetes, of course, high cholesterol, you mentioned, and stuff. So fitness would probably be the best way to really either keep them at bay or reverse a lot of those effects that you already have, by improving vascular flow. It's great with improving what they call angiogenesis, creating new collateral blood vessels in your muscles. That way, because as you get older, the current blood vessels get atherosclerotic, right? So they don't got good blood flow to certain areas. So it's shown that I assume you're a guy probably later 40s maybe, but it actually shows that men who work out in their 40s and older have actually build more blood vessel collateral flow, because the current blood vessels are atherosclerotic, so they don't have really good blood flow already. So it's actually beneficial to actually exercise with resistance at an older age, because it actually brings better results.
Hey, look, your wife just sent me a message, and she wanted me to mention that chocolate candy that I had on my desk. What's wrong with chocolate?
Oh,
chocolate candy, yeah.
Chocolate. Yeah. Well, dark chocolate's okay, but yeah, chocolate. So that's the thing. Dairy. Okay, dairy. That's the thing of food wise. Dairy products are actually not that great for you. It's casein protein, right? So it comes from the cow. Casein protein is actually not a good protein to have. So I'm actually not a big dairy person. Actually, I actually think that dairy is actually, in the end, not the healthiest thing. So chocolate, obviously, has dairy in it and whatnot.
Okay. Now you're my trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just took a vacation.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, everybody, let it be known, I do have a six pack. All right. I got a six pack, but my trainer just left. What are you gonna do to help me get my six pack back if I lose it?
You know what? Nothing. You don't need to rush. You just got to get back and take it slow again. Maybe, because what happens is when you come back from vacation, long vacation, so you splurge, you go to all inclusive, drink all you can eat. Your blood pressure will be higher because your sodium levels are just through the roof, right? You probably drank a lot. You want to just take it easy. It's just like
a whole bunch of chocolate.
My wife just said she have a whole bunch of chocolate. But no, you just got to take it slow. I think that a lot of people are always in a rush to get back into their body and get back into things. It's like you got to treat it like it is an injury. Like, say if you injure your back, your shoulder, or something like that, and you're now kind of feeling recovered, you don't want to go back to it the same sense you were doing. You want to just go back little by little, and by doing little by little, just small sessions, and reintroducing back the cardio and the activities, because the worst thing you can do is injure yourself. Once you injure yourself, then you really set yourself back a lot. And as we get older, injuries are going to occur more. We have less mobility. We have scar tissue in a lot of our joints that result in other ailments of pain that can set up us for a lot of injury as well. So six packs itself, I think that it by itself is tough. I think I got 4 maybe, but no, it is tough to get back right away. I would just say, take it easy. That's all.
Take it easy.
Yeah, just let it come back in it by itself. Don't force it, because when you force it, then you're gonna get injured. So we would just get you back in the gym, not start from square one, but see where you're at, and just reintroduce back the routines that you do on a regular basis. If we know that you gain a little weight, diet down. We'll probably do some intermittent fasting that'll help. Where you would eat for 8 hours in a day, fast for 16 hours. So sometimes I kind of reintroduce back, or something I actually do on a regular basis. I find that works pretty well to keep myself at a lower body habits and not increase my weight to a certain degree.
Okay. All right. Now, before I give it back to Ayana, all right, let's circle back around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now on my cardio days, I'll spend an hour on the treadmill and an hour on the elliptical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you just got through telling me that's not a good idea.
Well, it's a long time, right? It's 2 hours right there, right?
It's too
much.
much.
2 hours. That's a long time to be in the gym. Now, if you want to do that, you want to be in the gym for 2 hours, that's great. But I think that those long sessions on a cardio machine is, in my experience, very inefficient in losing that weight that you're trying to do. Because what you're really doing is you're just moving and you're sweating, right? Yeah, you maybe have some resistance on that area, but if you can last that long in an exercise, then the amount of output you're having, the watts, the calorie burn, is really not as efficient as it should be. You really want to, especially as men, need that resistance training, because if you look at our body, the biggest muscle groups are our gluteus and our hamstrings and our back, right? Mm-hmm. Those things atrophy as we get older. The reason why is we sit in a chair all the time, we drive. You have no activation of those muscle groups, not even your core. So when your glutes and your hamstrings atrophy, those are our biggest fat burners, right? So people who want to get a six-pack, you don't want to focus on your belly. You want to work on your glutes and your hamstrings, actually, and your back. Those will burn enough calories to actually shrink your belly down, and that's how you really want to, that's how you burn your calories. Doing crunches, that's not going to do anything. Going on a treadmill, if you look at marathon runners, they have a little pooch, actually. They don't have a six-pack. Marathon runners, they can do how many miles? They don't have a big, slim, thin waist, actually. They actually have, some of them have a little adiposity there, because running doesn't change that much of the central adiposity as people think. It's the burning calories, the most efficient way to burn calories is to build those big muscle groups that are fat burners of our body.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Are you, Ayana?
So tell us a little bit about your business model. Is it a virtual setup? Is it in person? Is it hybrid? So when you're working with people, are you talking to people online, or is it more so they meet you at the gym? Or
it's a little bit. Yeah, good question. So it's most of my stuff is in person. I find that men prefer that way. There's a little bit of hybrid in the sense that if they can't come, then we can kind of do a workout together, or I'll create a video for them based on the personalized person. So I kind of do. I do like to start in person first, because my workouts can be a little bit dynamic, and I also want to make sure that their form is good too. By trade, I do Olympic weightlifting, so that's itself, a very full body movement, and I have to kind of assess what they can and can't do. And some people can't do squat because they don't have the right ankle mobility. They can barely get down the knees, get low enough down until the heels come off the ground. So what I do is I start with, maybe a box or a chair or a bench for them to squat down and up. And I just kind of work on little nuances and things like that. Some people are young athletes. I had a young kid that just wanted to get in the box and improve his, cardiovascular fitness, improve his core. So I do a lot of plyometric trains with those guys and stuff, improving more volume training for those guys. Because some of these kids are really strong. I had a high school kid who was 17 that he was weighing 1,000-pound club weight. Like 16 years old, how is that possible? That's where you can lift aggregate 1,000 pounds from squat to bench and to deadlift. But his gym strength didn't translate into field strength. So what I do with most people is like, what do you functionally want to do? And that's how I gauge my workouts.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And so what areas do you target as far as geographical areas?
Pretty much local here.
Like where do you host these trainings?
Oh yeah, well, geographically it's for my home. Right? I have my own home gym. I created it back in 2022, and I have a facility in there that has pretty much all the equipment you need. So there is a video there that you can kind of there's a camera there, so we could do virtual, but the gym is large enough equipment to have at least 2-3 people work out at the same time.
Okay, and for those who don't know you, where are you located?
Columbia, Maryland, right in Columbia, Maryland. So right off of 32. Yeah, it's not too Central Maryland, just west of Baltimore, just north of DC. You got Silver Spring, Yonah to our southwest, and Frederick kind of more Western Maryland, obviously a little bit further to the west of us.
Awesome. Back on you, Amar.
Okay. All right, but before I mess with you a little bit, stir the pot with you and your wife, okay? Mm-hmm. We're going to talk a little bit about the metabolic syndrome.
Oh, metabolic syndrome, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. And what causes high levels of inflammation?
Good question. So metabolic syndrome is a huge problem, right? It used to be actually more prevalent in women. I think it's kind of swung towards men now these days. But metabolic syndrome pretty much is any combination of three: obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and high cholesterol, hyperlipidemia. Right? If you have all four, it's even worse. But it's any one of those three. And what happens is it just creates a lot of inflammation in our body. First off, right? And inflammation results in pain. Okay, and when you're in pain, you're not functional. And pain is a big factor in why people don't do things, right? And it can result in depression, poor sleep. Obviously, a lot of other, eventually leads to cardiovascular disease, diabetes. Things can lead to kidney disorders where your kidney functions will get worse. All inflammation leads to endothelial dysfunction, which is damage to the blood vessels, which then worsen flow to your heart and all the other muscle groups that need blood flow. So it's a big vicious cycle of things and stuff. So, and I see it a lot in the ER. And it's actually, diagnosed often in men who don't see a doctor for anything, right? They show up in the ER for the first time saying, yeah, I feel my legs are swollen, I feel short of breath, and there's also the CHF, congestive heart failure. Or they say I'm peeing a lot, I'm always thirsty, always losing some weight. Now they're all of a sudden new onset diabetes, so.
Okay. Well, what about depression?
Yeah, depression. Well, I think that obviously depression is twofold there. It's you're looking at obviously the way they feel. If you don't feel well, you're gonna feel depressed and stuff. I think that it leads to just a poor hormonal release, right? Inflammation will then worsen your testosterone levels. By what it does, it increases something called serum binding globulin, which is a transport system for testosterone. Okay. And when that levels are higher, it binds to testosterone that needs to be free to be able to bind to the receptors to produce what testosterone should be doing, right? So when you have high inflammation, you have less bioavailable testosterone in you to provide the proper energy, the strength, mental clarity, focus, and things like that.
Yeah. So now, do you recommend stuff like energy drinks and a bunch of supplements, or what would you recommend?
So supplements, I think that we don't need any supplements at all. I'm not a big supplement guy. I don't take any real vitamin that I can think of, actually. I think that when it comes to vitamin supplements, they're useful if you find your diet is lacking in something, right? Say if you have I would say vitamin D, probably the only supplement I think is worth taking because we're all vitamin D deficient, right? That's probably the only one worth trying. I think fish oils are good for cardiovascular disease that helps with lowering LDL, improving your HDL. So from a cholesterol standpoint. But I think that would probably be the main things I do. From a performance standpoint, I'm not big in supplement fan because I think I find that you can get all your amino acids and essential amino acids through food. They're supplements like that, I feel are not necessary unless you're truly deficient because you can't eat something. There's certain things you have allergy to, but I don't think there's really need.
All right. Before I stir the pot, Ayana, what do you have?
So walk us through a day of your particular diet. What is it that you consume on a daily basis? Is there anything that you eat every single day? Do you mix it up? Do you meal prep? Tell us about what you actually do.
Yes, I'm very big on whole foods, plant-based diet. I eat meat, of course, but I do a lot of fish. I find that whole foods are better in, legumes, greens, grains. I actually don't eat much chicken. If I'm going to pick a animal product, I would do fish over anything else. Red meats and most meats themselves are great protein sources, right? That's great. But the problem is, those high protein levels actually come with a lot of other fats too, right? And other types of things that you don't want in your body that can increase cholesterol and stuff like that. So if you find yourself, I usually do more whole food plant-based, type diet. I don't eat a lot of tofu, but mostly it's gonna be fish, grains, regular greens. Starches wise, it's more brown rice or sweet potatoes. Let me see if I couscous. I do. Daikon is another root vegetable that I like to eat, and that's pretty much what I do vary it up, but I'm pretty basic. I think that keeping it simple is the best because then you're more likely to stick with it, right? If a lot of people go on these fad diets, I'm only going to do this and that, it's not realistic. That's how I take working out as well. Like if you're a guy that wants to work out or female, for instance, you're only going to pick movements that are you think you're going to do or can do and stuff. So let's work with that and vary up in a way that you can do it in different types of ways that are functional and will provide you the results that you need.
Awesome. And so what branch of the military did you join?
Army. I've been in 21 years so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Armand, go ahead and stir the pot.
Where is your wife?
Where's my wife right now?
Is she near you?
No, she's in the other room.
Yeah. Okay, so I know she's watching. So Melissa, come on down.
If I come to the room, she come in the room. She got to just open the door first. Yeah. Hey, babe, you hear that? I don't know if did she hear it? I'm gonna have to go grab her.
Do you guys work out together?
We do, but most of the time we don't because our schedules are so all over the place. And my workouts require space and her workouts require space. So I think our space will be all messed up. But I think because of our schedules being the way they are. But we do work out together. We'll maybe very rarely do some of the same workouts together. But she is obviously, she's a lot more mobile than I am. So she can do the yoga, she can do all the Pilates, a hot hit. I can touch my toes and squat down, but that's the extent of my mobility. I'm not yoga, but yoga is good though. If you look at yoga itself, it's probably one of the best things to do for your body because mobility is actually if you look at strength, people who are strong people, they have the best mobility actually. Okay, so people who have the best mobility are actually strong. It's not the biggest guy. So if you go to the gym, the biggest guy is not the strongest guy. The person who's the most mobile and who've been doing it for a long time is actually the strongest people.
So who's the real alpha? Is it you or is it your wife? Which one?
You know what? I would probably say in the household, probably her. No, in the household, yes.
Well, she just got through sending me a message. She said she's not coming.
Oh.
She said nope, she's not coming, and that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, she has a headscarf on. That's why.
I'm on your
Huh?
You know, we women, we have to be ready. You can't just impromptu come on the camera like.
Yeah,
no.
I got you. I know, you gotta be ready.
You're always putting somebody on the spot.
They stick together. I
don't blame her for not coming. Let me just say that.
That's funny. I just took a text message like, oh, she got a headscarf. Gotcha. That explains everything. That's my daughter's the same way too. Like, I can't go out like this. I got a headscarf on. I just put on this stuff. I'm done for the night. And like they're in. I'm like, okay, I
absolutely. I completely concur with her. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you.
Oh man.
Well, you know, there's something that I really would like to do using you and your wife. And I'll talk to you more about it. Okay. But I really appreciate you. I want to say hello to Don Porter. You know, don't talk about me like that, Don, you know, but I appreciate you getting on. I appreciate Silk, Simplify, Always Faithful, Lenny Knight, you know, and I'm going to talk to your wife about this now, all right? Right? So who's got the stronger workout anyway? Is it you or is it her?
Oh, I definitely gotta be me. My workouts are pretty intense.
It's intense.
Yeah. I mean, I train my ER doc that I work with. He plays hockey and stuff, and my wife could tell you how he's like crying in the gym, trying to cursing himself out for trying to not being able to go through more workouts and stuff. But yeah, I push guys to the limit, depending on what they can do, but I'm all about intensity. I think that, if, you got to go hard in the gym, you gotta be intentful, you work out with intention, with a purpose, intent to do something. A lot of people go to the gym, like, I'm not going to knock out you 1 hour on a treadmill and things, but for me, it's just going through the motion at that point, right? Going through the motion or workout is not intention. You gotta be intent. You gotta have some type of plan, and when you do it, it's got to be to an efficiency point, to the point where you're actually really breaking down the muscles, really working yourself out and stuff. Going through motion is one thing. An intense 15-20 minute workout, I think I find to be much more efficient. Kobe Bryant says the best. I think he mentioned he would wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and start early because he can get multiple sessions in one day. And over years, he's light years ahead of those guys. He only did 2 sessions a day. So in fitness and stuff, just like everything else, like studying and whatnot, you do in bits and pieces, and I find that anyone can find time, 15 minutes every day to work out, every single day. And I think that should be a staple in every once a day. You go to the bathroom, you eat, is everything you can do in a given day. People scroll their phone hundreds of times in a day, and anyone can find, even though you're tired, you can easily do something at home to keep your body moving, because what happens is you've been so sedentary all day and you need some type of level of movement to keep your body mobile and whatnot. So I think anyone can find 15-20 minutes in a given day to work out.
Jan, I'm going to try. I think I can keep up with him. I'm going to try. What do you think?
Okay, and can we do it live on the show?
Hey.
Sure.
Hey, why not? I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I can do it. That's right. You name the day and I'll make it happen.
All right, perfect. Yeah, definitely. You can come to my gym actually. We'll just do it right there, live feed.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the camera.
Like I said, I'm not afraid. I'm not scared.
Gotcha.
What you got left for Jan? Anything?
So you were talking about working out for 15-20 minutes, which is what I do. Like I don't want to be in the gym all day. So I go in and in my last 10 minutes, so I might spend 30 minutes. In the last 10 minutes, I'm sitting in the massage chair. So what? But I know some people have a routine where they actually like today's leg day or today is arm day. Do you recommend that, or just like a total body 15-20 minute and then you're done?
Good question. So it depends on what you want, right? If you are bodybuilding or you're trying to gain more girth or more aesthetics in your legs, then understand that you probably want to spend more time with that. I think that overall wise, you're looking for longevity and you're looking for something you want to sustain. I do full body workouts every single time. Every single time is a full body workout. From core, there's always some type of cardiovascular. So I do a lot of every minute on a minute, or it's a body. So every minute on a minute is one. Every minute you're going to do a certain amount of reps of one thing. Next minute you do something different. You round robin that thing until I'll set a timer for maybe 12 minutes, and maybe 3 exercises. So you hit each exercise 4 times in a short period of time, and you're going to be spent, but your heart rate will be up. Or I do a Tabata, which is 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. So you do as much as you can in those 40 seconds and 20 seconds to take off. And you interval that over a period of time. And if you only got 15 minutes, you just pick 3 exercises to do, and you put 15 minutes, and you've done 5 sets of each one, which most people would probably, and that's 15 sets of something, right? Total wise, that most people would barely even get to in an hour, and that's kind of how I time my workouts, because you scale it down to where you can do, but it keeps your heart rate up enough. And then you can, if you say you had 30 minutes, then you do 2 15-minute sessions back to back, and that is so much more efficient than you hit the body part twice. Or you do 15 minutes in the morning, you come back home, do 15 minutes of another thing. You just got 30 minutes of a workout that day, right? And it only took you 15 minutes each, and that's not very long. I mean, some people shower and groom themselves for 15 minutes, sit down and eat for 15 minutes, I think that the biggest thing is time. We can't control time, we can't control change, we can only manage it. So that's why I also do you got to manage your time the best you can. You can't you can't control the changes in your body that's going to happen. We're all going to get older, we're going to lose our hair. We're going to our mobility is going to be gone. So you guys got to do what you can to do a little bit each day. That's all.
That's awesome.
Well, I think that's wonderful advice, and it actually sounds doable. People may not go as intense as you do, but just knowing, just being reminded, I would say that, hey, you can take 15 minutes, even if it's at home, and just do something to keep your mobility. I think that's great.
Yeah, and I cater to men who are working adults. They are very busy. And there's not a. I was talking earlier before we started about men's health and how the actual arena of men's health doesn't exist in medicine, right? There's no specialty with it. We have women's health, of course, but you have babies, they have, a lot of other pathology that gets cancerous, right? Breasts, you got to get mammograms, you have to get, that check, you have to get, pap smears, for cervical cancer, you have ovaries, you have a lot more anatomy than we do. What do we got? We got a prostate that honestly it's the 3rd leading cancer in the world, but it's most treatable and slow growing. And we have testicles, right? But the prevalence of cancer in them are very low between ages 16 and 44. So we're not really, you don't got a lot of pathology to worry about from a preventive medicine standpoint. So we're less likely to go to doctors if you think about it, and even to the point where we see a lot of comorbidities end up in the ERs because we don't. Women may go to a doctor because maybe they're pregnant, or maybe they have to get their very routine checkups because that's what we do. But we don't have routine checkups like that. We don't go to the doctor for testicle exams and not checking our testicles, to see if one's larger than the other. It's all self-managed at this point. So
yeah. 100.
Awesome. All right. So on your mind.
So if you had we have a lot of haters out there right now, Don Porter, your wife sending me text messages telling me good luck with you. Don saying I can't hang. So that's just pumping me up even more. You like circuit training then?
I do. I like circuit training because it's efficient. I think efficiency is the biggest piece, right? I think that's the biggest part of why I like it. It provides a good way to increase your heart rate and burns the most amount of calories. And it improves and it actually builds more what they call mitochondria in our cells, right? Those are powerhouses of cells, because when you increase your anaerobic activity, your ATP levels have to increase, your lactic acid threshold has to increase. So you build more mitochondria to help complete those workouts later on. So, which is actually pretty helpful in those things. And I think that's important. So I think that doing those types of workouts, both resistance and at a zone that's pretty intense, is the best way to build muscle, of course, and to just kind of resculpt yourself, because people all want to lose weight. I'm like, don't think of weight. You want to recomposition your body. You can be the same weight, but recomposition a different way to look a way you want to look at, you know, and you got to work on the big muscle groups, which are your back, your glutes, and your hamstrings. I mean, yeah, those are the biggest ones.
You know, Yana, I've learned quite a bit tonight, just listening and talking. You know, I found out that my workouts are too long, you know, so I'm going to shorten my workouts. But you know what else I would like to do, Yana? I would like to have Kent and his wife on either once a month or once every 2 months, whatever, with the health corner. Well, what do you think about that?
I think that's something we can talk about offline.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. I mean, but I don't think we should put them on the spot right here on the show. I think it's something we're talking about.
Yeah, I think it'd be great though. I would love it. You know,
that fits into
I think me and my wife would be happy to do it. You know, there's always a lot of areas you can talk about. You know, reinforcing some things that maybe people need to hear about. I think one of the big things is even like men's mental health, you know, and talking about, you know, how, you know, and talk about the lack of resources that men definitely they don't have, you know. There's no community clinic for a man to go to, right? There's no mental health clinic, you know, and I think that that in itself is disparity, you know. And when we look at medicine, at least me knowing the billing aspect of insurance companies and stuff, it's a business, right? They want to make money off medicine, right? So they can make money off, you know, groups of population, pediatrics, of course, because they're developing stuff. Women, they have babies and they have, you know, other ailments that they have to take care of, that for routine type physicals and evaluations. Geriatrics got its own things because they're older, they have Alzheimer's and stuff. There's a lot of things that come in those areas that, you know, Medicaid, Medicare, and other billing companies can extract from to bill for. But for us, we're boring, right? We don't have anything preventive medicine wise that is worth the time of billing companies. So we're worth more to medicine sick than we are healthy.
That's
true.
true.
What I'm saying? So there's nothing in medicine or any advancements that is going to occur for men at any time that I know of, because we're not worth the time to invest in to stay healthy. So it's upon ourselves to do something.
Wow. So if there was anything that you had to leave, or any tip that you want to give someone out there that's watching and listening, something that's encouraging, what would you say as it relates to mental health and physical health?
Everyone's dealing with their own battles, so it's kind of tough. It's hard to tell someone to pull the bootstraps up and just drive on, right? You know, I think that one of the things they have to realize is that, you know, you have to be accountable for yourself, for one, you know, and that it's okay and it's normal to be depressed. It's normal to have anxiety. It's normal to have grief, be sad. Those are normal feelings, and it's better to embrace them than to ignore them. Right? Because in PTSD, when you ignore things, you're just staying away from things that provide you fear, but fear is normal. So if anything, you want to face them, because if not, they become a disorder, right? So anxiety disorder, depression becomes a disorder when you're so hyper fixated on a situation, you can't perform the things you need to do. Go to work, take your kids, take care of yourself, right? So I feel that it's best to actually embrace those emotions, right? And face them, you know, because you have to, or otherwise you're never going to be able to desensitize yourself to the situation, right? You can't move on from them and everything. I mean, we have loss, right? Loved one died, the anniversary, they're sad. Year after year, they're sad, you know? I tell people, you know what? Why be sad why don't you remember the joyful moments you had with them? So every anniversary, you smile instead of crying, you know? So that's why I tell people a lot of times, you know, and because you can't control situations, we can't control it. Why worry as well, you know? So, you know, people have this overly worry, overwhelmed, and overthinking types of ruminating about stuff. You know, I understand it, but I think that if they, you know, face it first, you know, direct on, I think it'd be a lot more helpful.
Man, this was great. You know, this was needed. You know, I thank you for coming on. You know, you've been great.
Thank you. Appreciate
awesome. It. You know, you really got into my head. You know, I appreciate that. Well, what about you? What you got for him, Ayana?
Yes, absolutely. This was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and just, sharing your knowledge and, your expertise and what it is that you do. You seem to be doing it very well. And hopefully you inspired someone to get up and get moving.
Absolutely. Hope so too.
Yes. Well, to everybody out there who was viewing, we want to thank you for viewing tonight. Ayana, do you want to talk about the sponsorship and the event coming up?
Absolutely. So we do want to thank our sponsors, my econ, Mr. Ivy Stokes, Carol H. Henson, and Image Power, as well as J&J Realty. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. If you'd like to become a sponsor, if you'd like to purchase merch, even if you want to donate, you want to visit our website at pastandfuturelegends.com. That's pastandfuturelegends.com. Armand, you can, I know we have an event coming up on May 22nd. Tell them where that's going to be, what time, and what they can expect during that event.
So we are going to have an event coming up March 22nd. It's going to be at the Community Life Center, Mount Olive in Annapolis, Maryland. I will send out the updates to what I had posted earlier. We're going to have some eating. We're going to have some music. It's a thank you event. We want to thank all of our many viewers who view the show. Yana, I did put out last week that now we have India. India has joined on our viewership. What we have, so we are increasingly growing each week. So we'd love to see you out there. More to follow with the information that's going to be coming forward within the next week or two. We're finalizing the contract with the Community Life Center. Got it started today. But we want to thank you. We want to thank all of you. We just have the best #1 viewership ever. It's just great to have them all.
Absolutely.
This is our last show until next year. We'll be back on the 8th of January, and that night we'll have Wayne Gerald. Mr. Wayne Gerald will be on the show on 8th January. We want to say thank you again to Kent Natapraya. You've been great. Thank you for opening up and being transparent.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I think it's I'm always happy to provide some knowledge and provide experiences too as well. I think that's important.
Awesome. To everyone out there, thank you for joining us.